where I bring inspiring new talents around the world, especially from Ireland and the United Kingdom, and as well from Pakistan, India, and Bangladesh. Since my last life there, I've been receiving again lots of requests there regarding different issues there. One of the common issue is that I am facing the people are facing a problem relating to drop shipping because of this pandemic situation. It has been difficult for everyone now. So while answering them on my Facebook as well as on my private social media accounts there, I always encourage them to keep your nerves together. Make sure that you have a patience there, because the patient is the key in current circumstances. Of course, a lot of people have lost their jobs there. I'm talking particularly in relation to Europe as well as in Asia. Now, the situation in Asia is much more different, difficult as compared to Europe, because we have a social system in order to survive. But when we talk about countries like India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, it's kind of very difficult to survive there. So the people, and especially in the young students and even the young entrepreneurs or the owners of the small businesses ask me very frequently this question: how we can survive? Now, I wish all of the mentors or all of the people who go live, including myself, have a simple answer to give you how to survive. Now, when we say how to survive, it depends on industry to industry, and it depends on person to person and people to people. It differs from one person to another person. I can give you an example. If you are a small entrepreneur, or if you are a freelancer, it's kind of very easy for someone to survive, because you don't have much of overheads there, like a big offices or rents to pay or rates to pay or high number of mortgages to pay. But having said that, each situation is difficult in it itself, and it's not an easy to survive out there. So how we could survive? I always explain whether which niche you are, which field you are, what you are doing it. Simple answer: patience. Number one. That is the key, patience. Okay. And the second key is that gain more knowledge. And I explained in previous episodes there, and each week I narrate this my whole story, that if you stop learning in your life, it's eventually a death. You need to learn new trick and trades. You need to learn or excellence in your field, whether you are a doctor, whether you are engineer, whether you are coach, whether you are digital marketer, whether you are a web designer, whether you are a digital creator, whatever you are, you need to have an excellence there. And that is the reason each week I try to bring up a new inspiring people, which give you insight of their story, as well as tell you that what inspired them to become good in their field. As today we have Evelyn, she is a life coach, but when I asked her pre-interview and I was saying coach, she said, don't quote me coach. I have gone past that coach experience, and I am now, oh my God, what she said, a spiritual healer. Is that correct, Evelyn? Yeah. Anyway, I will request Evelyn to join us now in the studio. There, I was just teasing her, to be honest. There, very warm welcome to the show. There, Evelyn. There, how are you keeping today?
I'm doing the very best. Thank you very much. Spiritual mentor.
Spiritual mentor. Okay, tell me, what is spiritual mentor first of all for our audience?
Well, for me, what I help people with is that the truth, the essence, the energy.
Mm-hmm.
These are only words to say if we can be life coach, spiritual mentor, any of these things. Again, they're only labels. For me, that felt right. But what I believe that my purpose is to help people to have that belief in more than what they believe to be true about themselves. A lot what we believe to be true in ourselves is what we've been told. It's a certificate, the piece of paper that we hold. We believe that that's all that we are and that's all that we can achieve. So I try to help people to come into remembrance of the truth of what they are.
Okay, that's very broad sort of an explanation. Thank you for correcting me as well. Tell me about, you're author of 2 books.
Yes.
And I've been always trying to write a book there. What inspired you to write your first book? Tell me your whole story about that, first of all.
Well, what inspired me was somebody believing in me. I think that was someone said the other day, when someone believes in you, that's all that it takes. It was never really an aspiration or big desire. Possibly I said someday, but was never, I must do that. But I had worked with numerous clients, and each and every one were creating, were manifesting, were bringing to reality what their visions and dreams were. So I had an abundance of stories, and my mentor at the time had said, you should write a book. And that's exactly what I did do, was write a book on everyday people's stories on how they create, how they manifest, and how they come into remembrance of the magic, the power that they have within them. So that's how the first book came about. And for anyone that is doing anything or thinking of starting a business or have an idea, you do not need to know the entire process. You do not need to know how, when, what, where, how much. Do what you can do now. Work with what you have now. And that is your talent, and that is your gift. And that is what feels right. And the rest will flow to you in order for that to happen. Because that's what happened in that first book. I always said that the right people will come along at the right time at an affordable price in order for this to happen. And that's what happened.
So were you worried about how this book will end up? Who is going to publish it? Did you have the finances to publish it? How it, how this project came in the end there? You put up all those projects you were telling me without knowing that. You were not even knew about it, that I had the money to publish that book, but it came through eventually there. So what was that like? It was just luck, pure luck, or you believed in yourself there initially?
Well, you see, I had no fear, number one, who was going to say what if they read the book, or it's no Hemingway or things like that, to compare me to anyone else. I had no fear of that, because I always know when you put your heart and your intention for the good of others, it will go to the right people at the right time, as that I know the right people will come to me at the right time. And I always said at an affordable price. And it all happened. That's exactly how it happened.
So tell me, what is about this A Life You Want? What is all about? What are you telling people in that book there? Just a brief scenario.
It's the people that I have worked with, how they had dreams or wishes or desires, and how they all manifested, how they came about for them, how someone was able to afford to go to a party in America when they had no money. And as it turned out, I think it cost them about €20 all in all, because they received this or they received that. And that all happened for them because they took inspired action. Each person that anything that happens to took the action, rather than just sitting waiting that this is going to come to me. And that sometimes is what happens. It just comes. but we need to act as though that it is already happening. And that's where the belief is, and that's what's difficult for people. So that book is about people's stories, the steps that they took, and they're simple, everyday things that people can relate to.
Okay. And about this is your second book. It's about
Effortless.
Effortless. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the two books there.
Yeah,
First book,
beautiful.
second book.
Both, I must say, both of the covers are very fantastic and beautiful in the sense that they are very appealing. You know.
Well, they do. They have the lotus here. We have the lotus. You know, and the lotus symbolizes that rebirth. It means, you know, what the lotus always meant was that at night it sinks down into the mucky, muddy waters, and when the light, it comes back up, beautiful. You know, it rises from that. Actually, the girl that designed that book cover said, Evelyn, if every client was like you, as soon as I see things, that's it. That's it. Effortless was a follow-on from the first book because I didn't want to give a lot of overwhelm people with information. And I wasn't thinking that people were ignorant or stupid either. But I know whenever we're delving into something that we were never told when we were growing up, that you are the, you know, you create this, you make this happen, and all these wonderful things happen for you. So Effortless then was a follow-on to perhaps questions that people would arise from people, you know, from outside factors. When I'm trying to do all this, but this is happening, how do I keep a positive mind, or how do I change that? And just about effortless when we allow, and as I said to someone in an interview the other week, that when we stop comparing ourselves to others, every single thing on this earth knows its purpose. It doesn't even know the word purpose. It just is what it is. It just is that, except the human race. We're very complicated. We get very complicated in things, and we like to make things difficult for ourselves. So that's what Effortless is. It's about the effortless flow and the art of allowing.
Okay. So tell me, if both the books are available on Amazon, and how was that experience? Are you did you get the reward you had in your mind at the time when you were writing the book? I don't mean by, I'm saying that both the books are available on Amazon, right?
That's right.
They are both. Did you got your reward back? Did you got what you were thinking at the time? I'm not saying monetary purposes. Like, just a reward. Look, my purpose is to give my life story to the people there, okay? And to reach as much as people to know what is Evelyn, what she thinks about other people, and the stories which she is got inspired from other people. Did you achieve that target? Do you think so? You got that target achieved?
This is the thing with when we set ourselves expectations.
That's correct.
I never set an expectation. I never have an expectation on that.
You never had an expectation.
I never do. I just allow it to be what it is to be. And of course, everything it always comes back. The stories, the people's lives that it has touched, the people that, has brought that moment when it has brought change. If it has brought change to one person's life, that's it. And it has done that to many people, because that's when we have an expectation on something. And I know when people write a book, they get this, I'm an author. Again, just a title. Again, just a title. What my intention was to put it out and wish. They're like children. I wish them well in the world. You send them out into the world with love, and whoever you're meant to go to, you will go. And they have arrived to all the people, and they will continue to arrive to those that they're meant to arrive to.
Very good. Very true. Very true. And tell me, Evelyn, what it takes to become a life coach? If somebody wants to become a life coach, let's deal with first life coach, and then we'll go into spiritual life coach. Both are, I assume, two different things, or are the same thing?
Same thing. I guess it's like anything, whatever feels right for you.
Okay.
For anybody, what does it take to do anything? Your heart. If you're going to do anything, make sure that you have a calling for it. Make sure that you have a love for it. Never get into anything because it has great holidays, it has great money, it has great perspective. Never do anything because of that. Follow your joy. Follow what your calling is. Even if you have to go against the grain, whatever everyone else is doing, that is your purpose. So that is what took me down that avenue of life coaching. I heard the word, I knew, and I felt something for it. I didn't know what it was, but there was something calling me to do this. So that's what, when we receive our calling, whatever you do, make sure it is that you do it with joy. And I'm sure people have created and come up with wonderful things that they felt, this is what I have to do.
Okay. And did you practice or did you read any other people or books there just in order to get into line for life coaching? Or you just started instantly, like, I know what I have to do it, so it's I will start it? Or did you read some other books as well?
Did I read other books?
That's correct, yeah.
I had been, I guess, always delving into curiosity of God, of knowing that God must be more than this one God that I knew of, that I was taught. There had to be a whole, because there's that many different religions, there's that many different things. I was so curious. And nosiness, I just love it, asking questions, just curious. And also, apart from that as well, you know, I started looking at the scientific end, nearly afraid to look at the scientific end, thinking, what if I believed in all these years doesn't exist? If they show me something else. But in quantum physics, I was like, everybody's giving the same message, but delivered differently, because it's all the one. It is all the one. Your God may have a beard. My God may have red hair. We all have these different images, but it's all the one divine energy. So that is what took me down this avenue. I felt a calling for this. I knew there was something more. And from that, I discovered Louise Hay. She was a beautiful lady that helped heal a lot of people in their journeys. And that, when I heard that, rather than the theory, rather than the practical, ask this question, you know, when it's question, what felt right, when I discovered Louise Hay, and I said, yes, this is it. So then we're called more into that spiritual aspect, your intuition, that you trust and you listen. And that you're guided, you know, to whatever it is. Many times I've questions. What am I doing this for? I'm not getting this. And of course I wasn't getting this because I was allowing this to interfere all the time. It was here. It was here. All I had to do was concentrate on here.
Okay. And you help people to get rid of negative thoughts. How you help them?
Well, when people help themselves, I assist people, because we just bring in simple wee tools and techniques. I see things differently perhaps than how people are seeing things. You know, whenever we remove ourselves from a situation and see it from a higher perspective, from our higher consciousness, you see everything differently. It's like getting into an airplane, going up above and just looking down and seeing it all so differently. So number one, it takes for the person himself, do I want to change, or is it other people's fault? Is it the economy's fault? Is it my mother's fault? Is it my school's fault? Is it everybody's fault why my life is how it is? Or do I decide, in order for my life to change, I must change? So when people make that choice first and foremost, then we are now open and ready to change.
So since COVID-19, this pandemic situation, of course, lots of, like I was saying into my introduction speech, that a lot of people have lost jobs, or they have lost businesses there. As this stream is also going to third world country like India and Pakistan, I won't say third world country, but not as developed as compared to the other European countries there. What would be the people coming to you for mentoring and asking, and you walk through their whole journey of life, give them a confidence that, look, what has happened is you are not alone in this world there. It's happening to millions of people there, losing the job or losing the businesses or having a stress of sitting at home or working from home. You get a lot of inquiries about that I am feeling low, and then you have to work with them individual to lift their stream up, self-stream.
Okay. Well, if the word or if people are focused on losing, stop and be still and ask, what have I gained?
Okay.
What have I gained? What is the gift that has been gifted to me at
So
this time?
basically, you're working on reverse psychology rather than just attempting the solution.
Well, it's you're attracting what we're focusing on. This is what it is, because we're omitting energy. And people can call it prayer. You know, through my thoughts, through my words, through my feelings, let it be so. And that's the power that I wish to let people know, that in these books, what you actually are, that you are created. And yes, there are things that happen and they come in and you'll think, I was doing well, now this has happened. But now this is your opportunity to shine. This is now for you to start thinking outside of the box. This is for you now. What is my passion, joy? Because, you know, it's been a blessing for many, many people to have perhaps stepped away from what they thought. They've gone into fear really of loss of income and money. It's the money thing that really grips people. And but we change those words, because once you start seeing gratitude in something, once you start being grateful for something, and you know, I'm glad that you brought up, yes, that there are other countries watching this, because we could definitely take, a lot of people in this country, in Ireland, could actually learn from that, because we are finding things to complain about. And then if you experience someone else's life, do we need to experience someone else's life in order to see gratitude for our own? Do people in Ireland need to live in India for 6 months to say, do you know what? Our government's not so bad. You know what? I think we're all right. Is that what it takes? And sometimes in people's life, it takes them to hit rock bottom. And sometimes the less you have in life, people are happier. As long as you have food, and that's the main thing. If you have nutrition, if you have roof over your head, and those things that people fear or worry about, sometimes a lot of people have a lot more joy in their life having less than what they do having more, because they're attached to the materials. They're attached to every possession that they have got in this world. They're so attached to that if I lose this, who am I? What am I when I don't have all this around me? And then that's where people are afraid to find out who I really am. But the truth of each and every person, you are an absolutely beautiful, divine being if you only allow yourself and give yourself permission to find out and create that world for yourself.
Correct, rightly said, that each individual is unique in itself there, and the circumstances changes from person to person, from individual to individual there. What are the common questions when the people come and to hire you as a life coach or spiritual life coach? What are the common questions they would have it? If you could categorize, say 3 questions, very commonly among the people when I do the coaching sessions.
Excuse me. Well, when people come there, they're not really at a happy place in their life. They're not in a good place. And that is simply because of things that have happened in their past as to where they're at now. So perhaps their vision may not be, oh, I want to go to the Bahamas. It could be something simple. I just want own. Yeah. I only want my own space to live. I only want my own house to live in. I only want to change job. I want to be happier at my work. I want to be happier with my family. And that's where we start at. And it's only because our mind's quite limited. And people just want to get a wee taste of that joy or happiness, to feel what that's like. But you know what, Tusif, everybody that has come that I've been dealing with, I say magic and miracles happen. Be mindful what you wish for and ask for, and be ready to receive it, because I seen it over the weekend when we had a wonderful event, and dreams happened that day for people, and can be very overwhelming when it lands and arrives in your lap. And it can be what people take for granted, having friends. One particular lady, that was one of her things, because she had give all her time to her family, to her work, and she never gave any time for herself. So therefore she had no female friends. And to have that, and to be given an award she was presented with an award, it's very overwhelming for people to receive what you've always wished for or dreamed for. For people to public speak for a first time. You could stand up there, as one of the girls did, for a short period, and she froze because now she had received her dream. And that old self-sabotage, that doubt can come in. Who are you to be standing up there? Who are you to be talking? And so now what we ask for, we receive, and then we don't know what to do. But then the flow, then we accept, and then we come into this. And you see, now we receive that dream. So now our mind's open. Now I'm ready for the next step.
That's
So
correct.
this
Yeah.
is,
So you believe that the miracle happens in life.
yes,
Are you a firm believer of that?
absolutely, 100%.
Talk me through the miracle you would like to share with the audiences that you might have experienced and you never even dreamed about it.
Oh my goodness, many things. Well, sure. Look, at the end of the day, this is that I never take nothing for granted. It's a miracle that I open my eyes every morning and I breathe. I believe miracles
That's correct. Yeah,
is
that's
what
the
you
miracle.
see. Isn't it beautiful? I just see the gratitude in everything. What a miracle that sun, that it shines, that the flowers grow. Those are all miracles, but we take them for granted because they're just there. Many things. Now, I'm only doing this. This seems like a long time, and people believe that I'm doing coaching or mentoring a long time. And I would say from my start of my journey on that to now is roughly about 3 years. And inside that 3 years, I've done many talks, many interviews. I'm writing my 3rd book now. And that all happened in that short space of time. So
That's
things,
correct.
once you start believing, things just happen. And they just keep happening. They just happened. Where I'm sitting at here now at the moment, it used to be an old garage where my father used to chop firewood. And I used to look out through my bedroom window, and I wrote about it in one of the books, that I looked out and it was a wet day, and looking down, the windows were falling out. The place was a mess, and seeing that as my dance studio, because I also teach dance.
Yes,
And I
I was
used to
going to ask.
see, I used to watch and think, so many people are going to come down there. There's going to be so much laughter. I could see it. I could feel people laughing and dancing.
It was all
And
visualization in your mind that it is going to happen. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. But I had no money. I had no money. How would this happen? If your mind's going to work in, it's going to say, now the logic of that. And another wee thing, when we have a dream or vision, I always be mindful who you share your dreams with, because people won't believe in the same dream that you have.
That's correct. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
And
So
this was created from one action of my brother taking, and that's my studio all came about when I had that vision and dream. And I did not have to work hard for it. It just all happened.
it came along gradually, how you planned it. The question I asked before that about miracle was that for people, the definition of miracle is different from person to person. Like you said, you open up your eyes, you have a wonderful life, you have a wonderful family. I'm sure you have 3 kids. I have 3 kids as well. So this is a miracle as well in itself there, that we have a good partners, good life, good lifestyle, and waking up in the morning, it's a miracle itself. While the other people think that winning a lotto would be a miracle, or paying off a mortgage of a house would be a miracle there, So I suppose the definition of miracle itself is very broadened there. How you treat your life is a miracle itself there. Am I correct in assuming that? Or
how life creates it. I just say life is an absolute miracle. But of course, I have a list of stories of people that have done things that have done, and that's the ego part, of our mind. If I win the lottery, if I pay this, if I and when I, because they believe that only those things will bring them joy,
happiness. Yeah,
absolutely. People say, and yes, of course, won't that be lovely to pay off my mortgage? And that's the intentions that I have. I visualize and I see myself. I have a check in my purse. When I go to the bank, anytime I go to lodge anything, I visualize this check that I have in my purse, that I'm walking down and lodging that. I see myself, and I'd be so happy going into the lady and saying, lodge that in my account for me. Now, if that money was to arrive to me tomorrow, the amount that I have written in that check, am I ready for it? I'd be like, oh, right, I don't know this amount of money. I've never had this amount of money before. How do I deal with it? So that money will come to me in interims, in throughout periods of time. And then when the final amount arrives, I'll be like, now I'm ready for it, because if it arrived in one lump sum, I would not know what to do with it. So that's how you visualize. I know that that'll happen, and I see myself and I feel it. Feel yourself that it's happening, whatever it is for you. But be the joy now. Do I require that check to lodge into my bank before I'm happy? Because I'll be waiting a long time, and then will I know what happiness is? If I say I have to wait till this check comes before I'm happy, be that now, and it happens quicker.
That's quicker. Tell me about your dancing experience. You are a dance instructor as well, a jack of all the trade, being as well as the mother of 3 kids, they're teenagers. How this dancing instructor plays for you there in your life there? I mean, how you find a time,
I know people ask that question. How do you get the time? I have the loveliest time. I'll have a wee nap. I had my wee siesta before I came on to speak to you, because then now I'm nice and recharged. So I always have time for everything. The things that matter, I always have time. Dancing is something I've always loved from I was a child. I've always loved it, and again, something too that I always, I suppose, wanted to do choreography or something like that, but it was not heard tell of when I was going to school. And if you had to come home and said I wanted to be a choreographer, my mother wouldn't have knew what that was. Plus, I would have probably had to go away to England, and I was a home bird. There was
or probably go to India to try a luck there. There's a big Bollywood industry in India.
I love the dance. I love all different styles and things like that. But it's fantastic, and the colors they're so vibrant.
That's right.
It's beautiful. It's so beautiful.
They have a festival of colors called Holi in India. It's a festival of colors there. Each year
Show
they
me
celebrate.
A little hand move. I know we can't get off the chair. Show me something there with your hands. They do have we different. Do you know any of your wee traditional?
Traditional, I'm not good in dancing. I wish I could have shown you.
Show me something you can do with your hands. Show me something that.
Well, the guys, they are just like this, using,
they're just clicking. What does the ladies do? What does the
ladies do? They have a good moves. Definitely, they have.
Show me something what they do with their hands. Do they do?
It all depends on. I'm not into the
Good. I got you to dance today.
That's right. Yeah. All of Asian people, whether they are from India or from Pakistan or from Bangladesh, they love choreography or colors or dancing. It's quite very natural. And in India particularly, I'm not from India, but in India particularly, the dance is a sort of a religion.
Yes.
So they worship like a religion. They practice like a religion there in India.
Perfect. How beautiful. I think every religion should be dance.
Yeah, it's about moves there. It's all about your moves there.
Isn't it all about the flow? Allowing the flow and feeling
coming to your body.
That connection. That's beautiful. That's correct. That's lovely. Yeah. Now I've learned something new today.
We all learn everything new today. That's all about life there. And the last but not least, what would be the message you would like to give it to the audiences who would like to become a life coach or a spiritual life coach there? What they should do, he or she should do in particular. I know you need to have a good speaking powers. You need to have a good eye contact there. These are all prerequisites there. But having said that, what other things you would like to give as a tip to the audience that if you would like to become a life coach, practice this much more there? Of course, one of those could be a patience. Other would be a flow of words there. I don't want to put my words in your mouth there, but just to give a message to the audiences who are listening to you, and there are quite a good number of people listening at the moment.
Well, for anyone that is thinking about that, is this for me? Ask number one, no matter what it is, what is my intention? And of course, we want business as well. That is a thing. For anyone, I believe, to be a coach or that all these skills develop. You do not have to have them now. As far as you were saying, eye contact, confidence, that all comes because I couldn't have looked at anybody. I couldn't have talked. I question myself many, many times. But those skills do come over. Work with what you have now. And if you have a feeling, a calling to assist people, to help people, to bring change about in their life, that is where we step off and find yourself someone that sits well with you, something that feels well to you, a good mentor. And that sometimes requires investment, because someone to offer a weekend course to become a coach, I think people just get a piece of paper and then the belief disappears. I've always had wonderful mentors in my life. Of course, I've invested into myself. Again, at times when I had no money, but I found the money, I got the money, I borrowed the money because I knew it would all come back. And I never let money hold me back from doing something, because I wanted the right people, the best people for me at that time that I could learn from. And I have learned from so many amazing people. And that's what I've always been blessed with. That what I can now, the skills that they have offered me, what I can bring forth to others. And then you develop your own, your own uniqueness, your own authenticity. You develop those skills throughout time. But do go with your feeling. Just don't go with anyone to train you. Go with what feels right to you at any time.
Right, right, truly. And how would you keep yourself motivated in these difficult times there?
Motivated. Well, sure. My daughter, I have a friend, and we do a 6 a.m. call roughly every morning, 6:30. And my daughter comes up and says, "Oh my God, you're so chirpy in the morning." I said to my friend, I think people maybe dread seeing us. Not yet. It's too early. It's too early.
Too early.
How do you know what? You surround yourself with good people. Surround yourself because you will attract what you're putting out anyway. You'll only attract that what you are back into your life every time. Wonderful people. Do read. And there's things that we can certainly eliminate. Number one, switch off the news. You are going to exist without that. There's things that I choose not to, like that word pandemic. I never put it out. That's what I've only used this now, universe, just to communicate here. I don't use those words. I see things. I choose the words that I speak because I know the words that I affirm, what I believe will become my reality. So there's things I bring awareness to, the words that I speak. And really rather than forcing something, God, I'd need to be doing something today. What I'll do. Something always comes. I allow that because, say, for example, at the beginning of all this, I was so inundated with a lot of people for mentoring, and I was so busy. And then the quiet phase came, and I knew the quiet phase came because that gave me time to concentrate on my book, to get my book cover done. And now the next phase will come in, that because we had our event, the clients will come. So I don't worry, I don't fear, and just allow to come into me at the right time. So stay motivated by switching off that doesn't serve you. If something does not bring you joy, stop doing it. Stop listening to it.
Yes. Thank you very much, Evelyn, for today's
You're most
live
welcome.
stream thing. I really enjoyed with you, and hopefully our audiences have enjoyed as well. And we'll take you again on the live stream very soon, I'm sure, because I'm thinking of doing something with a couple of coaches together as a live stream there. But let me put that through there, and we will be live again very soon. But thank you very much for today's live stream there, and I hope everybody have enjoyed. Take care and stay blessed.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, that was Evelyn there. Before I go, as usual, there are a couple of messages I would like to give there. Like Evelyn said, and I also recall same thing. Stay motivated. Do whatever you like best to do. Try new things there. Try something different there in your life there. Take care of your loved ones there. Take care of people around you there. You will have a good energy around yourself when you are with the good friends there, like Evelyn said, and same is the message. Keep motivated and stay cool and stay blessed there. Thank you very much for the live stream today there.